Another great tool when trying to troubleshoot or audit your files is the step-by-step processor. Now, if we take the Stock Data International file, mainly because this actually has quite a long formula where it's trying to find the description based on the item reference, sometimes reading that formula as it stands there is not so straightforward, and you want to know what's happening where. Well, there is an option to do a step-by-step through the evaluation of this formula. And this is achieved by selecting the cell that you wish to do a step-by-step on, go to the Formulas ribbon, and in our auditing section, this little FX symbol here is evaluating the formula. One click brings up the Evaluate Formula dialog box. Now you can see that this then doesn't repeat, it takes our formula. So if is NA VLOOKUP, A13 is the value it's going to look up. Let's evaluate, and you can see that it converts the A13 to the actual value, which is Lund 00274. If I then click Evaluate again, it then evaluates more of that VLOOKUP and shows us the address of the lookup table. So that's the stock named range, that's its physical range. When I then click Evaluate, it evaluates the lookup to London Latte Mug Boxed. So it's now going to calculate the is NA on that text value, evaluate, and that returns false because it's not NA. The next part to be evaluated is A13, which if I click Evaluate, we know that's London 00274. The next stage it will do is calculate the stock again. So effectively we're rerunning the VLOOKUP because we've now entered the false stage. It evaluates and shows us the range, and then Evaluate shows us that it evaluates to London Latte Mug Boxed. And then the last stage is to evaluate the final step of the if to give us London Latte Mug Boxed, which is what we see in the cell. So then we have the option to close or restart to run through again each stage of the evaluation. Now the other option in this evaluate formula is to step in. So you can see that it steps in and shows that value, or step out. Evaluate, 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 step in. So that steps me into the value of that cell, London 00274, or step out. So you'll only be given step in options at various stages, and that allows you effectively to see the value of the underlined item. So stock, this is the underlined value, and then step out, and then continue through the evaluation process until the end. So you can do that on any cell with a formula. If you try to do it on a cell without a formula, you just see nothing, and there's no evaluation options because there's nothing to carry out. So there's no error or massive creation that takes place. Now this one is empty. Now why is it empty? Let's go to our FX. First thing it's going to do is look up the A12. The A12 is red 00054. Then the stock is our lookup range. Then it's NA. That becomes true. So we end up in the empty section. That's why it looks empty, because it's NA. So the value red 00054 does not exist in our stock data. Now the more complicated your formula is, the better that sort of step-by-step evaluation is. But you can do it on any cell you like with a formula. So that one there, which is straightforward, FX, and it will step us through so that we can evaluate each stage and see what's happening and why we're getting back various things.